Some people don't have that. It's like I got a bursary to get into after. I've now finished my studies. I don't even have the next move.
I'll say this about the entertainment industry. You have to go out and get it yourself. It's not going to come to you. That's not how it
Yeah.
works.
Fair.
Yeah, it's not this is not the industry where you submit a CV and you hope to get hired. You know.
Everyone's gunning for what they want, and not everyone has the right tools or enough tools to gun. We're on, eh?
Are we on?
Oh, we actually on.
Hey, Taola, welcome to the Dojo podcast.
Oh wow.
Dojo go the socials. Wow, hey, Taola, welcome to the social podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Just follow us, and we'll follow you back. That's what DJ Spoo once said, but he actually didn't follow other people back. But I don't know. Hey, too. So we are here today with a TG. I'm saying it right.
Yeah.
TG.
CG.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna do this properly. So, Sanbanan Dumelanya show awe ikamu TG the AUX GOD Valamawindo Nasi Storm. That's my name.
Follow my window. Follow my window.
That's my name in totality. Yeah, TG the AUX GOD Valamawindo Nasi Storm.
Uncle.
Thank you for having me.
Lebo, are you following or is it the
Yeah,
mic?
things are
Can you
falling
adjust the
apart.
mic? Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm okay saying same it's because of Mike. You must, I don't know. Jones, sound guy. Yeah, and you actually do
I'll
sound,
just
right?
move forward to talk.
Yeah, amongst other things. Yeah, I
Yeah.
do sound as well.
I feel like it's gonna fall that mic level. So it's fine.
Yeah,
Mic
I'll
is
just
on.
move my head back and forth.
That looked a bit wrong, but okay. We'll just go right
Yeah,
past
man.
that.
Welcome to the show, man. Lebo, how
Thank you for
been?
having me.
I've been good. Hey, how have you been?
I'm good.
It's good to see you.
It's good to see you too.
You guys look like you haven't seen each other in forever.
And
Yeah,
we
no, it's been a while.
And we just shot
been a
one or two
minute.
episodes before. Again, we try to level up to generations when they like you have to dress this way, and then change up for the next day you must wear another different costume. But they actually mix scenes around, and they actually shot all those mixed scenes in one actual day.
Mhm.
So I know when you watch
yeah.
it, you think, oh, it's the next day. Can't know.
No.
It's like So I haven't seen you in a while.
I haven't seen you in quite a while too. It's been weeks,
Yeah.
almost months.
Hey.
It's good to see you.
Hey, we had eyelashes, girl. Eh?
Oh, who we wear the makeup? Hey, Dilo.
But
Zin.
Lerato is beautiful, dog.
She is.
Did
That
you
is
get
true.
numbers, though?
Nah, I didn't.
Oh, I feel fine. Aristomo Sira.
Nah, I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's it going on, man?
Hey man, I'm alright. It's just been busy. I'm from work, so yeah.
You from work now?
No, yesterday.
Oh,
So
okay.
I actually arrived here yesterday. Yeah, so that could be easy to travel to arrive to the social podcast.
So, Lebo, I met him go Nemisa.
Mm.
I'd asked you. I told
Can
you
you hear my
to eat
stomach
something.
rolling? Yeah. So I met him Joburg, Nemisa.
Yeah.
TV
at
and
the
radio.
SABC. Yeah.
Yeah. Then they were doing welcoming new students
Mm.
by radio and film,
Mm.
and I was a speaker there.
Hmm.
I was a speaker.
Yeah.
We do not
You
know
was,
you at all.
you was one of the panelists there.
I was one of yeah.
Yeah.
So hey, this guy from Metro FM, was he from Metro FM? Was it, I'm not so sure if it's Metro, but he's also into radio.
Mm.
But Otwali Free State. I forgot his name, Tabiso or Tabang, somewhere there. He
Yeah,
also
I think
was-
his name might have been Tabang.
Yeah.
Mm.
So now, hey, he's profiler high. Hey, he's doing all the things.
Heat.
And then now when I stood up, I was like, yeah, I'm a podcaster. The whole class here, yeah, on phone.
Like,
Hey, which one is that? Hey.
people want to shoot movies. You're telling us
Yeah.
about podcasts.
So I met
Yeah,
him
yeah.
there, and then we exchanged numbers, and it was a beautiful experience because there was also a lady from Eben Brew, and
Mm.
the lady that we also want to bring, which is your
So
mentor
from 702.
Yeah.
from 702.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's my mentor. Amazing woman.
Oh,
yeah,
dope.
yeah,
Yeah.
tight. So yeah, dog.
Yeah, I was emceeing the event.
Oh,
Yeah, that's how we
nice.
met. I had to get his details so I can
That's the
introduce him
first time you and
properly.
Prince met.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So there was a thing that after the session, someone said, whenever you walk into a room, experience them, but get their contact.
Mm.
So that's when I was like, I told her, you never know, because he's on the dojo. Maybe it'll fit like go 4K. How many subscribers are on your
I think we're on 3.4 point something now.
Ach.
thousand?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Where
yeah, yeah.
now?
Don't
We on
compare. Don't
yeah. We on
compare.
Patreon as well.
Hey, yeah, 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 yeah.
Please subscribe to our Patreons, $5 a month, please. And then that's our lowest tier. Our lowest tier is $5 a month, and then you can get up to like $20 a month.
Yeah, so you are here actually to just teach us about podcast and the TSIs and the Patreons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So how I joined the podcast. I've been on the podcast for about a year now. Yeah, yeah. So the thing about me is wherever I go, I try to implement something that even after I'm gone will still be there. So
Hmm.
I introduced the things like Patreon and stuff. So now
Mm.
um there's so kuyabonakala ukuthi, oh, there's a new guy who's implementing a few things on the show. And even if I leave, like, I don't think they will close their Patreon because now they don't have TG. That's something that's going to last as long as they have their podcast.
Sure.
So that's what I try to do in whatever I do.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Whether it's shooting movies or doing an online radio show for Nemisa. Um, yeah, I try to implement something that would last after I'm gone.
So Nemisa, you started the online radio show, or it
So
has been there, but you kind of facilitated the.
I started it. So they have an online platform, and I walked up to this lady. Oh, actually, they needed content because this woman passed by the studio through the window and she saw me and my boy Marvin Coles recording, and she's like, "Yo, you guys, your content's actually dope. How about you take that exact content and just put it on the Nemisa platform?" And we're like, "Oh, okay, we'll do that for you." And we just did a couple of shows for them, which is kind of cool, and it's a bit different from podcasting because podcasting we can chill like this and just have general conversations, but on radio you're queuing in songs, you're talking about current affairs, this is radio. Radio's very quick pace, upbeat, and
Mm.
podcasting just kind of
Chill like what we're doing
chill,
here.
yeah, like
Yeah.
we are right now.
Hence, there's a lot of podcasts people can just record.
Yeah, because if some people you see here, there's multiple cameras. Some people just pop up a phone, put it there, get a mic, and then start doing a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think, but that's also depending on how you look at it, it might be an issue because now the market is saturated.
True.
But I do think that if you have an idea, execute it. It doesn't matter if the market is saturated or not. You have an idea, you have a call. You could be different. We could do the exact same podcast, but because of the delivery is different, I could be on 10K views, and you could be on like 600. It's just an example.
That's us. We are on 600.
So it's the matter of the delivery. Yeah, your personality is very important, especially if you're going to sit in front of a microphone and talk to people. How you deliver content is very important. So for example, you could compare us to the biggest podcast in Africa. Everybody knows who that is.
Yeah, that
But
other guy. The
yeah.
vendor guy. I'm a vendor.
Well, but
Yeah.
the delivery of the content is almost similar because we touch on current affairs, but the execution and the delivery is different. For example, they have a comedian. they get to have a comedian and chop up current affairs, and current affairs now ends up becoming like a bit humorous.
Sure,
But
and
then
relatable to a lot of people.
yeah, and
Yeah.
now people who watch the news, people who don't watch the news can get their current affairs from a podcast, because now there's a funny comedian telling you the exact same thing um,
Mm.
a news anchor would be telling you. Yeah.
Yo. So, but what do you do? Level, you wanna?
No, no, I just wanted to when you touched on delivery of stuff, I don't know. Currently, I see a lot of people trying to like podcasts, for example,
Mm,
right? But I see there's a big lack in content. Where do
mm.
you think people are getting it wrong? Do you think we were trying to make content out of everything, or do you think like do you think people are packaging their content correctly in terms of podcasts?
Um, the first thing is everyone is consuming the same content.
Mm,
So by the time you now want to go do your content, I've already talked about what you want to talk about. You know what I mean? So most people don't necessarily go look for content themselves. They sit in front of a computer and open Google, excuse me, open Google, look what's on News 24 or whatever, and then go talk about that. You know what I mean? Instead of maybe going, you know what, I saw a story about the interest rates or whatever. Let me go see if I can get an economist on the show. You know, and then maybe
Mm.
he'll tell us a bit better that, oh, okay, this is the situation. Um, and maybe break it down even further. But what we do is we just sit down and we talk about sex and alcohol and drugs,
Hey,
because
they like talking about
that's,
sex.
yeah, that's what most people experience, and that's the content they consume, you know.
mm,
Yeah, even well or the movies, the music you listen to, music now is very how can I say, alcohol inspired,
sure.
groove inspired, or
Mm.
violence inspired, you know. So it's really about the what you consume as an individual, and then now you need to figure out, okay, how do I now package it in such a way that I can share it with people. I was listening to a podcast yesterday about script writing, and I found it amazing. It was breathtaking because I had never heard of such content.
I've
Because
never also,
you
yeah.
see, and it wasn't script writing and script development, and which is what I do as well. One of the many things I do. I lost my
Because
train of thought
I
there.
watch things that have to do with cameras, like cinematic podcasts. So
Yeah, yeah,
someone will
yeah.
be telling you which lenses to use and stuff like that.
Mm.
So, which other podcast do you also?
That do I consume?
Yeah.
Um, Joe Budden,
Hey,
The Joe Budden podcast.
you're the
Sure.
first. You're the first. You're the first guy to come on the show to say Joe Biden.
Yo, man, the
Yeah.
JBP is the biggest podcast in black culture.
Mm.
MacG's inspired, the inspiration for his podcast come from the JBP, you know,
Yeah.
because of how they deliver their content. Their intros are almost similar. Their outros are almost similar. Like
Oh.
Joe Biden's
I
the
thought
goat, bro, of
McG was like
podcasting.
he came up with his own fresh. I know maybe there could be his own unique way of doing it, but when you say what you're saying now, it means he kind of had to study somewhere so that he can create his own. Hence, we were talking about IPs earlier
Yeah,
on.
but I think that's with everything though. You are inspired by something. Everyone is inspired by something to do something, you know.
Mm,
So even be for me to get into podcasting is because of Joe Biden, because I consume this content. I don't really listen to his music, but I respect him wholeheartedly in terms of what he does in the content space,
Yeah,
in the podcasting space. So it would be him. I do consume MacG, the Dojo podcast, of course.
yeah,
Like,
cause
comment, share,
hey,
subscribe.
yeah.
Outside of that, there's the Joe Rogan experience, but not so much anymore because they moved to Spotify. Um, what else? New Rory and Maul. I used to listen to them when they were still on the JBP, but now there's the splits. So I listen to both of them. Uh, what else? There's
So Joe Rogan is on Spotify. He's no longer on YouTube, or
yeah. So what you see on YouTube's are like snippets, they're like clips, but the actual
Oh.
full length episodes of his content is exclusive to Spotify. Yeah, he had $100 million deal.
Ooh.
It's exclusive, very exclusive.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's that, and then the sobering podcast. I love the sobering podcast. Those
Yeah,
chants
it's
of the
also
truth.
chilled. Yeah.
Um, yeah, there's the one I just discovered now in script writing. The title of it's just not coming to me right
Is
now.
it local, that one with script writing?
Nah, it's from the UK.
Mm.
Yeah, it's from the UK.
So what do you do, man? What is it that you do? Tell us about you, actually.
About me,
Yeah.
okay, so I've done quite couple of things. I've been on TV since I was a toddler. I used to do adverts for like Jets and Ackermans and all that stuff.
Oh,
So yeah,
oh.
that's my introduction to the industry. And then as I grew older, like through high school, I used to model. I did ramp modeling. I did magazine shoots. Um, I did I did a couple of adverts. One of my favorite adverts I did was the Pushy Passion advert, the Vodacom advert for the Kaizer Chiefs and Pirates Derby.
So did you have,
Mm.
because with adverts, did you also have to have that expression like "Okoriko Ntuara"?
Yeah, you kind of have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I pulled up wearing my school uniform from school, and the lady from wardrobe is like, "You look amazing. You're going as you are." I'm like, because I
Yeah.
had to go to school right after the shoot. I was
Oh.
like in grade 10, so I had to do the advert. Our driver had to drop me off at school because there was the agreement between my agents and my mother that
Hmm.
yo, it's either you're picking up you pick him up from school or you drop him off at school. He can't miss a day of school.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's me. And then I stopped doing that to pursue aviation. I became a pilot.
Ouch.
I've been a pilot for about
Hey, first black pilot on the
What?
show.
What?
First black pilot on the show. Wow.
yeah. So I've been a pilot for close to 10 years, and then COVID happened.
And you're a pilot, like what fly at you?
Yeah. I just haven't flown in like 3 years, but I am a pilot. Yeah.
So kono, okay, couple of butisa. Pilot to we start up, yeah. How do you start a
Um,
Kia or?
no, there's so you have a checklist. There are things you have to do. You have to um set your mixture, set your throttle. Um, yeah, there's a check system you have to do before you even hit the
But wait,
nation.
that's so diverse. From
Well, I mean, I'm thinking
from
being a
film
pilot.
production, adverts, TV, media to being a pilot. How? Where?
I think at some points I started doing things because I lost maybe belief in myself at the time.
Mm.
Yeah, because this is something I've always wanted to pursue. I've known this since I was a child, but I did genuinely have a love for planes. But now I can't. In a black household, they tell you, "Yo, man, you can't just be on radio and stuff because you're in grade 6 now. You're doing community radio. You think you're gonna do that as an adult and make a living from it? You need to get a serious job."
Shit.
About so now,
That's
I
a
had
good.
to.
That's a good parent right there.
Yeah.
Look at us. We're podcasting now. Eh? Could have
Stop
been a
it.
pilot now.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah. So right from that to having a sit down with my mom. My mom is like, "Yo, man, you love this aviation stuff. I've never heard you say anything about university your entire life. So how about we try it and see what happens?" And then I tried it.
Mm.
I fell in love with it. I pursued it. I did it for almost 10 years. Um, but okay, COVID happens, and now there's no like money to keep flying. There's no more jobs.
Mm.
You're sitting at home for like 6 months. You're thinking, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Because now there's nothing else to do. So you kind of now have to search inward and find yourself basically. Um, left Joburg, moved back to KZN. Stayed with my family that side. Worked for
So
family
you from
business.
KZN?
Yeah. Home is in KZN, but I grew up between KZN and Joburg my entire life. Like it's either I'm in KZN or I'm here, or I'm in KZN or I'm in Joburg. That's been my whole life. Okay, so then I end up quitting my job in KZN, and then I fly back to Joburg, and I'm with no plan, with no plan. I was like, you know what, fuck this shit. I can't just be here and not do for call, um, and not do what I'm passionate about, because now I'm working in the medical industry and I'm busy the patient files and whatnot.
You from
And like,
pilot to
um,
medical.
yeah, so can you imagine? For me, that was very depressing because, like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? I never wanted to do that type of 9 to 5. That
Sure.
was never in the cards for me. You could never envision that, you know. So, but then I was like, okay, cool. I did it just to get an income, put clothes on my back, you know. Okay, cool. I quit, moved back to Joburg. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna just pursue this thing. I don't care who says what, you know. And
Nice.
I had a I had a couple of fights with family members
Mm.
because, of course, they care about me. They want the best for me. Like, yo, man, this in the entertainment industry, Tebogo Masilo, like, you
Hmm.
know. So,
Yeah.
went from that. I went to Soul Candy. Learned how to DJ because now I'm like trying to figure myself out. Like, you know, what am I gonna do? Um, yeah, became a hip hop DJ and then I ended up having a residency on LXFM.
Ash.
I did that close to a year. I used to do the drive time show called the
Oh, drive
Fast Lane.
time.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
Yeah, but a
big.
drive time is not everyone.
That's big.
And actually, shout out to the guy that put me on there because uh, I started literally just right after learning how to DJ. So I learned how to DJ properly on the job, you know. So I used to play, but the first two shows I did, Eben Shalama Hashi Dog, and it was like, yo, I had to improve from there, you know.
Yeah.
So, but I ended up doing that for close to a year, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, I think this is the space I belong in. Like, I feel that I'm natural here.
The
I know
media
exactly, you
space.
know what I mean. So, and then I ended up at Nemisa. That's how I applied for Nemisa, got accepted, did
Mm.
broadcasting there. I learned how to. I learned how to do radio and film at the same time,
Mm,
and uh, my thing was writing. I'm very passionate about writing. I'm very passionate about script development, uh, creating content, studying something out of nothing, and we shoot it, and then we watch it, and you turn on the TV, and you're watching other people watching this thing, and you're like, you know, these niggas don't know that I made this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
mm,
And
Yeah.
I think that gives me a rush. That gives me a rush. So that opened many other doors for me then,
mm,
because now I'm not just a good writer, but I have a great personality. So how about maybe I become an on-air personality for an online radio show? Like, oh,
Sure.
okay, let's do that. Now I'm killing that. Oh, okay, your personality is good enough for you to go MC corporate events, and now I've been doing that. I did like I went to go MC at Groove a few times, but I don't think um I fit properly there.
Cause you have a very chilled, laid back vibes. Hey, at
mm.
Groove,
I
you're
do, I
my
do. Yeah,
way.
but I turn up. I turn up. We turn it all the way up. You
Oh,
know,
well, yeah,
I
yeah,
don't mind turning it all the way up. I really
yeah.
do. But me, I'm very chilled. On a normal day, this is how I am. But yeah, we can take it to the top. We really
Sure.
can take it all the way to the top,
Hey, the
man.
drugs about
I think for me, my next question is actually for both you and Prince.
Okay.
Yeah, me.
Yeah, no, you too,
Yeah.
because you guys mentioned Namisa now and
Yeah,
things,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
I
yeah.
start thinking of other academies that are around, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
broadcasting and
yeah.
film and production and stuff.
Mm.
Why are those schools so expensive?
Ah, yes,
And do
yeah.
you think that the opportunities after studying, let's say, film, or do you think they match up to how much is paid for the fees?
Um, everything niche is expensive. Everything niche is expensive. Going to go study film and television is very niche. You know,
Yeah,
it's not a common thing to go do. You know,
yeah.
so like literally everything niche is expensive. To go be a pilot is expensive. It's
But I
niche.
mean,
You
think
know.
about it. I just mean in terms of also, if you make it into being a pilot after
Mm-hmm.
flight school,
Mm,
you are likely to make a salary that substantiates how much you invested in your studies.
I hear
Whereas I
that.
have friends that went to AFDA, for example, that paid gang money,
Expensive.
but they're sitting at home now going, "What's next?"
I'll say this about the entertainment industry. You have to go out and get it yourself. It's not going to come to you. That's not how it
Yeah.
works.
Fair.
Yeah, it's not like it's not. This is not the industry where you submit a CV and you hope to get hired. You
Yeah, this
you gotta
industry is
walk in the
different
door.
from, if you have to dress up, wear a suit,
But
and
that
then
that's my
Yeah,
other issue
you
is that
gotta.
you, in terms
It
of
needs
putting
the
yourself
hustle.
out there,
Mm,
not everyone has the same backgrounds and opportunities. It's like
mm,
someone can say, I used my broadcasting qualification to be able to come up with, like you, for example, you've done things on your own and you've been blessed to have avenues that help you frame whatever you want to package to the world. Some
mm,
people don't have that. It's like, I got a bursary to get into after. I've now finished my studies. I don't even have the next move.
mm,
I don't, and everyone's trying to gun. I mean, as you say, it's about gunning for what you want,
mm,
but everyone's gunning for what they want,
mm.
and not everyone has the right tools or enough tools to
Mm.
gun.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But okay, like I got a bursary as well. I don't
Sure.
think I would have went to go study broadcasting without a bursary. I don't think that. In fact, I would have been in DUT doing interior design. Because that's what I had applied for as well. I got accepted for that, but I looked at. Am I going to apply for NESFAS, or am I going to take this bursary?
Sure.
Like fuck NESFAS. I'm gonna go take this bursary and go do what I want to do.
Mm.
You see. So but in terms of like this is an industry that needs the hustle. You have to love it.
Ish.
There's a rush
Thick
to it.
skin, man.
You know what I
Yeah, it doesn't
mean?
have a
You need
plan.
that.
For
Yeah, it
instance,
doesn't, which is why it's very tricky.
With
Mm,
Nemisa, I don't know if everything with Nemisa there's like, because I know with Big Fish, I went to Big Fish,
I remember you
so
said.
you would just apply. It's a free institution.
Mm,
Hence, when we talk about finances and stuff, there are those that you have to really look if you really, really want this. So there's a now re tlo bolela ka the book ya kana ke mang buka ela, Think and Grow Rich. The first chapter on Think and Grow Rich.
mm,
O bolela ka desire.
mm.
Like desire, it's a beautiful but big thing. So there's people that when you are at after, you got the degree, but you're getting no jobs. With us, we would be like, let me go work there for free,
Yeah.
acquire the skill
Yeah.
so that I become of value.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because if I know that if Jones is not there to do sound, we have no choice but to raise Jones's salary.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So with me
yeah.
Mm,
also, I looked at it this way. I was like, there's a lot of us in this classroom, but a lot of us are waiting for that interview. We're
Mm.
waiting to just jump on LinkedIn.
mm,
What is it that they're not doing that I can just do directly? Then I met a guy, Barikisibusiso Kanyile. He's like, also part of all Durban film festivals.
mm,
So he's got connects. But now I went to shoot stuff for him for free.
mm.
But he worked for ABC, which is like the US news stations and stuff. Then I got connects from him now. But if I was just to chill, to be like, oh, no, there's nothing coming up, definitely there was never going to be this opportunity
Exactly.
sitting here
The
today.
thing is also,
Exactly.
Aratwani,
I'll
you
tell
you
you.
could go and study like broadcasting, but not necessarily. Or I don't know, maybe something that is within production and stuff, but you're not
Mm,
necessarily like an extrovert, or you're not, because
Mm,
people aren't the same
that's
also,
true.
and you can't expect everyone to be a chaser.
one
Mm,
size
Some
fits
people are
all.
just
Yeah.
like, I'm a creative and I'm equipped with the theoretical tools to be a creative,
mm.
Yeah.
but I can't chase anything because it's not who I am.
See, the thing about if you're going to be a creative, are you a creative because you went to school, or you're creative because you're creative? Do you
Mm.
understand what I'm saying?
Mm.
Yeah, like so if you are passionate about creating, then create. Everything will come afterwards. You know what I mean? You don't even
True,
have
true.
to. I don't think you. I had the privilege to go to school to study what I studied, but I don't think you need that, especially in this industry. It's really, if you are passionate about creating, go out and create. About We know about David Cow because they did the Pure Monati show. You know what I mean? They did skits and stuff, and I watch that till this day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like on YouTube and stuff, and they did it while they were students. Some of them were students at Namisa. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
scenes where they were they shot it in Parktown. They
Mm-hmm.
shot Pure Manate show in Parktown, and some of the scenes you could see, oh, this is the studios where
Oh,
these are
Pakistan.
the Nemisa
Yeah.
studios. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
before they moved and left Parktown. But you see, they didn't wait. They didn't wait. Like you imagine, can you imagine? It's Chris Forrest, it's Kagiso, it's David Lale, Luis Okola. Luis Okola still a teenager at the time. You know what I mean? And
Mm.
all these people just decided, you know what, I'm gonna get up and go do it. You know
Mm.
what I mean? And everything came afterwards. But
Mm.
that's because um creation was so important to them. Creating is being a creative is important, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really about um you don't have to be an extrovert and have a big personality and be addicted to the hustle like we are.
Mm.
But you can start creating. You know, some people create at home, grab a sketchbook and draw a storyboard. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And okay, and then go meet someone and see if they can develop the storyboard into a script. That yo, this is the idea I have. This is what I would like to do. I don't necessarily have a script, but I know how I want it to look. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Or I have a script, but I don't know because I'm a writer. I wrote this whole thing. I know nothing about shooting. I know nothing about directing, so I can't even be in the position to direct this thing myself. You know what I mean? So now that's when collaboration is important.
Mm.
You know, so those are the type of things you really need for you to make it. That's
Mm.
what I believe. Maybe so you might believe something else.
True.
Yeah.
So what happens? Because actually, I have a team. Sometimes sometimes we show up. Sometimes they don't show up.
Yeah.
What happens when producing? Because you produce
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
the dojo,
The
right?
Dojo podcast. Yeah.
Like, what do you guys do? Like, in
Yo,
then for preparation for
Prince's
the
cousin, sorry. She comes sometimes.
oh for the
what do I
cousin.
do too?
What do you do? What's the take us through the process of when you have to prep for an episode?
Mm.
What's the first thing that you do? And then, are there any scripts? Are there any short lists?
I first develop treatments for the show
Ha, lo
because
utlwile bagwera. Treatment.
Look at Charlie.
Oh,
Charles has got something
yeah,
to say.
yeah.
I first develop a treatment. That's usually what I do. I I do my framing.
Hmm.
I do my stage design. I do all of that. I do the entire treatment usually myself. And then from then, when I now have a treatment, this is the treatment I'm going to use for the season. You
Mm.
know, and then I put my script in the treatments that, oh, okay, this week these are the top stories, and then I look at who spoke about what on these stories, you know,
Mm.
and then I'm like, you know what, maybe I don't want to talk about that because now it's been like on 4 podcasts already.
Mm.
I'm gonna talk about these other ones. Now I look for more stories. Now I have to dig a bit deeper, and then yeah, I package our current affair stories, international stories, and whatever is trending. And then I put my ideas on the side because to be honest, in terms of podcasting, I don't really like talking about what other people are going to talk about, you know, which is what happens so much in like in the current affairs side of
Because it's
things.
current affairs. We
Yeah,
have to talk
everyone
about
is going
what's
to talk about
trending.
it. Yeah, but I'd rather um dig deeper into different topics and conversations. Maybe we'll talk about philosophy or spirituality or whatever. So that I jot down those ideas, and then I send it through for approval, and it'd be like, okay, I like this. It's good to go, and then they send it back to me. And once they send it back to me, I'm like, oh, okay. Now I'm eliminating. I don't want this one. I don't want that 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 one. Okay, this is the script now, send it back, and then we say, and then when I send it out to the rest of the crew. Now everyone knows, okay, this is what we are gonna do
Mm.
for the coming episode, and then I do that. Once I've developed the treatments, what I mostly work on week in week out is the script, because the
Mm.
treatment doesn't really change. Yeah,
Mm.
it's the script that does.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's what I do. I'll tell you how I joined the dojo.
Hmm.
uh I sent a DM. I sent a DM. I'm like, yo, this is what I can do. I've always been a fan of you guys. I think I could take this to the top.
Khuluma manga ngathi kwesikhathi. You wanna be at McG, but you're
I
like, "Ay."
wanna, I wanna, I wanna take this. I think I can. I know how we can take this to the top, And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I have some ideas, I have some stuff, and then they're like, oh, okay, now come through. They haven't started. They hadn't started shooting the season that's out now, season 13, and they're like, yeah, no, you start the season with us and whatnot, and they'll be like, oh, you come on as an intern because they didn't
Mm.
exactly understand what I do. So, and then I submit the treatment, and it's like pages and pages of like this document. And they're like, my nigga, you can't be an intern and give us this. You're like the producer now. Now we gotta pay you something. I'm like, yeah, run that check, nigga.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how I joined
Got
the dojo.
DM
Yeah,
phase.
I sent a DM. And it's literally the only DM I sent. I didn't like go out looking for people to hire me. I'm like, I want to work with those niggas. I have an idea for those niggas.
I had people wanting to work with us. They sent DMs. They're fired, dog.
They
You're
don't
always
last.
fiery.
They don't
No, they
last.
fired themselves. I've never
But you
fired
also,
anyone.
you never fired.
No, you see, he filed a document. What have they done?
Fair enough.
Hey, Marno, they've by really Jones. By really, like what? So, you're not gonna say okay?
People were active on the other episode. They asking questions. Hey, eyelash, what? Yeah, look now.
Hey, talk it to Lerato. I wanna show you Lerato. Why people not reacting?
niggas.
Maybe you also react to that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I'm a show skin. No,
yeah, show
man,
us
I
the
came in.
cleavage.
Hey, man, I can't do that, man. I
So,
gotta. No skate. No, no, I don't do that. I don't
so
do
this
that.
is Lerato.
Okay. El rato got a fat ass. Yo.
Hey!
Yo. This is what she be posting. This is what you're post.
Hey, what?
That picture is probably why you had on the show now.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Prince.
We know the truth now.
If you would look at my expression, I wasn't
we know the
happy.
truth. Where were you when you saw this picture? Were you at home?
Yeah, I don't.
Was it during load shedding?
Yeah, what?
No, I'm asking. Like maybe you didn't have enough like things to do when you were like,
Dojo,
let me
muka
just
Dojo.
scroll on my phone, see what's happening,
Yeah,
and then
no,
now
no,
you
no,
found
no.
that fat ass, and you're like, okay, we
Oh
are
my
on.
goodness.
So do you guys argue like
um,
in the dojo? Like how do you deal with conflict? And because Tina, we are zamming here and there, Apparently I'm toxic and
Sometimes you just gotta get it out. Fuck you.
I've
And
been
then
saying, dog,
after that we resolve it.
on
Yeah.
film sets, hey, people be swearing at you, and
Yeah.
I feel so sorry for my
Yo,
team because if they were on that position, Joe,
my
you,
man, I shot a movie like 2 weeks ago, and I was in the art department, right? So every blocking, I'm literally standing next to the director so I can know what to prepare for the scene.
oh yeah,
One of the scenes involves vehicles. So if you're in the art department, you prepare the props and stuff, and vehicles are included in the props. So okay, now I'm taking out the cars, putting the cars in position. Now I can't find the one car keys for this like 5 series now. And the director shits on me, and everyone is shitting on me, and then I just ate it, took it on the chin. I kept working. I'm like, yeah, okay. I found the keys. The keys were in the other car. While I was moving the cars, I put the keys on the dash, and then I was prepared. And then when I left, I took the key, and I didn't take the key for the other vehicle. So now everyone is running around looking for the car keys for this thing, and I got shitted on. And then I ate it. I took it on the chin. I'm like, okay, let's go. Like, you think I'm gonna like quit or cry because now you're yelling at me? Fuck
yeah.
you. I do this thing.
I've been on
Yeah,
turbulence. I've fly
I
planes
do
before.
this thing, nigga. You know what I mean? Like, faded. This was like maybe a fuck up on my part, but it wasn't. It didn't stop production. Like
Yeah,
it wasn't the end of the world. So like, faded, you are mad now, but you're not mad over like something so serious. Like we'll sort it out now. And like, we kept moving. We shot the scene. It was next scene. Next scene, I'm there next to the director again for the next
okay.
blocking. preparing every day, making sure with you, oh, okay, oh, this is the scene with the guns. Okay, I now must go get the guns, get the bulletproof vest, get the, go to special effects. Special effects must load the weapon. Okay, now weapon is live. We on, you know what I mean?
Mm.
So yeah, you gotta eat it. So with the dojo, fortunately, there's not really so much conflict. Um, but there's always disagreements, and sometimes um, we might not see eye to eye on something, but it's always for the bigger picture. It's always for the podcast. It's not for me because I produce the podcast now. I think it's my show. It's not my show. It's the person that founded the show. My job is to make sure the show runs smoothly. The show actually is
Yeah.
recorded. The show actually goes up on the platforms. You know what I mean? Put the show together and all those things. So yeah, there'll always be conflict in this industry, and I always feel like people in the podcasting space are a bit soft compared to people in film, because in film there's no time to fuck around and anyone could yell at you. You know,
Mm.
um, art departments and art department, wardrobe
Yeah.
and makeup always eating it, always being yelled at for something.
Hey, makeup especially.
Yeah,
Yeah. Art department also.
yeah, art departments and wardrobe, because now there'd be an issue with a dress, or they don't remember the continuity, so now the actress is wearing a different blazer. The
Ooh.
outfit is still the same, it's just the blazer that's different now,
Shit.
and now you realize it right after you say cut, and then someone says, wasn't she wearing
That's Novita. Novita will be saying that. Wasn't she wearing and you
wasn't she
done shooting
wearing?
the
Yeah,
scene?
now we gotta shoot this whole scene again. Yo, bro, director will go off at everybody. You know what I mean? So, but
Yeah.
that's this. You gotta eat it.
I remember Ashes to Ashes. We once had an episode on Ashes to Ashes.
Mm,
So the continuity lady was a friend of mine, but she's from Avda.
mm,
I don't know if she forgot to check with the notes because I was supposed to say on a line Ashes to Ashes. Yeah, Baba Fuma. What did I say? There was a number that I was supposed to mention, like 128,
mm,
but I went like 148,
mm,
and then they're like, "Fuck, this number doesn't work with the previous episode."
mm.
Hey, I was the happiest guy because of when you make that fuck up as a talent, you have to call me back in, so it's another daily rate. So it was not my mistake. It
Kaching.
was it was the continuity person. Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you do with that check? Did you spend it on Rato?
Hi, fuck.
Just asking.
So what do you think about podcasting so far? Essay podcasting.
Well, look, man, I love podcasting, but there's room for so much more.
Mm,
I think at the moment everybody's kind of doing the same thing because everyone wants to be MacG, and I don't think it'll work like that. You know,
yeah.
so um, yeah, but I think people need to maybe think a little bit out the box and figure
Mm,
out what's true to them as individuals, and then package the content that reflects them.
yeah.
So but I love podcasts. I listen to podcasts from Nigeria. um there's a lady, and who's this Chance? This Chance is a rapper from Nigeria. Fuck, I don't remember that nigga's name, but that nigga is dating. He was dating a Nigerian actress,
Mm,
and I listened to the podcast all the way to the point they got engaged and got married. And those are the things that we're talking about on
oh
on
yeah.
on their podcast, and I loved it.
Mm,
Because. Well, like, why just listen to Mzansi or American stuff? Like, why not listening to Nigerians, listen to Zimbabweans,
yeah.
listen to niggas from India, Yeah. Um, I'm very curious about how other people think in other parts of the world. I'm very curious about how people think,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm always consuming stuff because I'm trying to understand, oh, this is how you think. Oh, okay. This is how you think. I like to sit and watch. You know that video, Ricky Ricky? Is like sometimes you must stand and you must watch. And you must watch them. And you must watch them. And as you think you're ready to jump, don't just jump yet. Just sit back and watch and
Yeah.
understand. Like, I love to do that. Yeah, I watch people. I study people. I'm like, oh, okay. Okay.
Are
And
you
then I
gonna open
listen.
your own maybe? Start your own podcast?
Um, not necessarily sure. Maybe in the future, not right now.
Yeah.
I'd like to have a show I've been writing skits, so I'd like to do skits mainly.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I'm not one dimensional. Just because I produce a podcast doesn't mean I want to have my own. I want to do
Mm.
more. I want to
Mm.
shoot a movie. I want to host a radio show. I'd like to host a music show on like channel O or whatever, the
Yeah.
type of stuff. Those are the type of stuff I'd like to do because I can do multiple things. I can script write.
Mm.
I can, 2 weeks from now, I'm going to be shooting another movie. I'm in the art department, but
Oh, you're still in the same department, like
yeah,
art.
still in the same department. I'm in the art department. I love the art department, but I'd like to maybe progress from that to maybe um, directing my own films. But I want to learn how to DOP. I've DOP'd a music video, and that was great. But that was
Which
my
one is
first
that?
time. It never dropped. But there's a lady called. She did a song called "The Jazz Party." Fuck, what's that lady's name? She's somebody's friend. Nobody, when she watches this, she's gonna kill me because I can't remember her
Hey,
name.
artists,
Yeah.
they
But
work on a
yeah,
project and they move on, eh?
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So yeah, we shot. There's a music video we shot for Robin Third Floor, but it didn't drop because not everybody in your team will do their job properly. So sometimes there are things that go wrong. So
Mm.
that didn't drop either. But with that video, I was more on the concept development of it.
Mm.
I love to do that. I love to concept. I love concept development, like creating something out of nothing. Oh, you have an idea? Okay, let's see how we can.
Develop it.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, I do multiple things. So yeah, I
Nice.
want to do skits. I
You
want
should
to
call me.
do
I
radio.
like doing skits, like, but for TV vibe skits. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just put me on one scene and yeah.
Yeah, I
Comedy
know.
skits or like.
Yeah, yeah, comedy
Oh,
skits. Yeah,
okay.
comedy
Cool.
skits. I don't think I'm funny enough to do stand up. I was talking to Titi Chuma about it the other day. You know Titi, right?
Titi.
Yeah, Titi, he rolls with pop ups.
Mm. Mm.
Um, he's a stand up comedian. I went to high school with him actually. Um, yeah, and I was having a conversation with him that I don't think I'm that funny to do comedy, stand up comedy, but
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm funny enough to do sketches. You know what I
Mm.
mean? I'm funny enough to write a sketch.
To work out a puzzle and
Yeah,
then yeah.
yeah, yeah. But he says I should try it because I'm already emceeing events, so it'll be a nice touch if I was maybe a little bit funny, and then you have the pattern, because you need
Nice.
to know when to deliver a punchline or whatever,
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
um, that's something I might be looking into in the future. Yeah, just
Are there
something
are
I'd
there
like to
any
talk to him more about.
things like in your career or in your career choices
Mm.
from when you started till now that you wish you would have done differently?
That I wish I would have done differently.
Or that you wish you would have rather done this instead of that, or picked this instead of this?
There's a advert I worked on that's I really wish I was behind the scenes for that advert.
Oh,
Like
you were
yeah,
okay.
I was on screen for the advert,
Okay.
and I was actually an extra, and
Wondlula ngasemuva.
yeah, I was that guy just walking by,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah, but if you wanna pay me a check to walk by, I'll walk by.
Sure.
Hey, the commercials do
Yeah,
pay.
well, but I would have loved to be, I would have loved to done the art department for that. But at the time, I knew nothing about art departments, So I think that's one of the things I would have maybe loved to do differently.
Okay.
Um, when I was in primary school, I was on Josie FM. We did the kids breakfast show, uh,
Oh.
and I was like in grade 6, and I could articulate myself well, but every time, so I had the segments where I discussed the history of Kwaito.
Mm.
So I was like 12 years old talking about the history
12
of
years old.
Kwaito. Like, can you imagine, like, what do I know about the history of Kwaito? But I wish I got so nervous every time I did that
Mm.
I would stutter when I do like my the reading of the script and stuff. That made me so nervous.
Mm.
And but for the rest of the show, I'd be there on the show, participating, doing everything else. But just that segment, I was always so nervous for it, and um, I would have loved to do that differently. because had I dealt with the nervousness of that at the time, I understand how that could have grown and became something else.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So that's one thing I would have loved to do differently.
Okay.
Um, yeah, but everything else led me to where I am today. So whether it's mistakes, they all have lessons in them. It's just what it is. I
Okay.
wouldn't be here without those mistakes, you know?
Sure.
Yeah.
So how do you fly a plane?
Okay.
Hey, pilot,
Okay.
you're a pilot, Baba. First black pilot on the show, Baba. Yeah.
So there's a whole checklist you have to go
This is
through,
what I'm
man.
saying.
You have to
First black pilot on your thumbnail. Black pilot turned into podcaster.
podcaster.
Ah,
Sounds
don't
like
fuck
a
around with that.
We've had so many firsts. There's been
It's
so
like
many
it's
firsts
crashing.
happening recently.
sounds like
Yeah.
a big job from pilot to podcaster. The fuck I've been doing in my
What,
life,
what
yo.
the fuck have you been? But respect. Like, so you're in
Today's
a
a Sunday. It's a
so
good day,
talk.
man. You
You're
know
in
what I
a
Yeah.
mean?
you're in a plane though. What do you do? Because I'm
Um,
sure you communicate to someone.
you communicate to so okay. You do your checks outside the plane. You do your checks inside the plane. You start your plane up. Mixture, throttle, you ignition, boost at the same time. Depends on the type of aircraft you fly. Start it up, set up your mixtures correctly because so the thing with cars have a airflow meter.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, I just moved. Airflow meter balances your fuel to air ratio for performance, but in an aircraft you do it yourself. You know because you
Oh,
have to set your performance for takeoff.
I saw that on a stick on the plane. Like, is that the
Yeah, this all day. Yeah. So and then you need to set your mixture and your power for cruise altitude, and then you need to set it for the descent, and then
Mm.
you need to set it for your landing, and then you need to set it to taxi.
Mm.
So taxiing is moving your aircraft around. You don't drive a plane on the ground, you taxi it.
Yeah, you warm it up.
Yeah.
Is it not nerve wracking though, thinking I have all these people whose lives are in my
Yeah, busy
hands
there.
and
Hey.
not
we're
not
shooting up
really.
for the sky and I have to keep them alive and get them there safely?
Do you sometimes get a boner when you fly? No.
Oh my goodness.
Ah.
Good Lord.
Yeah. You were
Oh,
asking.
Novita's up
um,
now.
Yeah.
He was slowly but surely like just going down.
Yes.
Since that point,
Yeah.
he's up.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry, man. I don't sell eyelashes, bro.
So just
Wait, Saloa, have you ever do you fly it or you drive it? Do you fly it?
You
Have
fly
you ever
it.
flew only high or drunk?
Nah, I don't do that. It's not ethical.
It's not ethical.
Yeah, it's like me driving drunk. Why would I do that?
But you still do it, right?
No.
so they do test you before you fly, or
Nah, they don't test
Hey,
you, but
Muslim, look, I was
There's a
shocked.
movie,
there's
Denzel
a-
Washington.
yeah. We
Where-
flipped the plane
where he had
upside
to
down.
turn the plane like this.
Yeah, there was some bullshit. But okay, carry on.
Is that possible? No, I want to know, is that possible? Remember, he turned the plane like that,
Yeah.
the plane like this.
No, you can't do that.
You can't. Eh?
You can't do that. You need a um you need
Alcohol.
a
maybe?
rating. You need a special rating to do that on your license.
Oh,
Firstly,
yeah.
and the type of aircraft you fly will
Mm.
either allow you or not allow you. So there's something called stalling. If your aircraft turns around, it stalls, and if you don't recover it in time, you're going to crash.
Okay, but wait,
Hey,
let's talk about. You said
Scary.
you
Stop
allowed, right?
stalling.
That what he did was illegal, right? Because that's why he went to court for that.
Yeah,
Because he was
drunk
high.
and
He was high. But
like-
he
he's
had
like-
to save. If he didn't do that, the people are gonna die.
Yeah, that's true.
He had to do
because
that.
that came from experience and whatnot. But you must remember it's a movie, so they made it more dramatic than
But that's
probably actually was.
partially
But,
impossible.
You as a pilot, you need to remember that the most important thing, I have all these lives on this aircraft, and mine included. So if I can treat the aircraft well, it'll treat me well, and everybody else on the plane won't notice. You know that. So I like to study people, right? So people don't really, they judge the pilot by the landing, not the entire flight. You can take off, fly through turbulence, and have an amazing landing. They'll be like, yeah, no,
Mm.
that man is the man, Baba. It was windy, it was what, he landed that thing nice. But or you could land it on one wheel and then it lands on the other one and
Yeah, I
then
hate that
Oh, but
shit.
I
yeah,
hate landing
yeah, well, and
generally.
then
I've never
Now go to
nah.
the
and then
moon.
now people are thinking, hey, this pilot we need to buy this license. You know what I mean? But yeah,
Yeah.
people judge pilots based on the landing than the entire flight. So
Oh
Yeah, but
yeah.
that's anxiety inducing. Landing in general.
it is,
Oh,
but when you are doing your training, um you gotta be a little bit crazy. You need to be prepared to die if the need comes. Like, so you need to do everything to avoid that. You know
sure.
what I mean? So now when they teach you how to recover stalling or whatever, that you can't learn how to plane without or you can't learn how to land a plane without learning how to recover from a stall. Excuse me. Because that's where most people crash. A lot of people
Mm.
crash in the landing.
Mm.
So you gotta, because they would stall, they would raise the nose too high, the wind over the wing would cut off, and now the plane
Mm.
just sinks. You know what I mean? So
Yo,
those type of things happen.
death be not
So
proud.
when I
So
was crash, I got reverse nyano.
nah,
Oh.
dang, nah,
Yeah.
bro, nah, I got
Get
God
on
on
a
my side,
reverse.
bro. Like,
You don't have those
don't
guys, but in your eta brava ka zwaga.
zwagala, brayaga,
There's a
zwagala,
question coming in
zwagala.
from Novita.
Samachi,
So what's the biggest plane you flew?
I've ever flown.
Yeah.
I never got to Boeing size. But I've done 4-seaters, 6-seaters. I've flown serious aircrafts mostly. They're quite small planes, but for its category, they're like, I was like flying a Rolls Royce basically.
Awe.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
for that category, but yeah, I never made it all the way to the Boeing size. I would have done that if COVID never happened. Yeah,
Mm.
but
So also, does the license translate to helicopters?
no, you get a pilot license in aircrafts in fixed wing, or you get it in helicopters. Yeah, but there are people who do both, and if you are to do both, then I would recommend start with helicopter flying, and then move on to fixed wing flying, fixed wing aircraft. And then you can juggle both, but you would have to need both licenses. You can't get one and free for all. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that's and there's like different ratings. So some aircrafts, um, you need a rating to fly a Boeing, and then you need a rating to fly a Gulfstream.
Mm.
You know, so because they're not the same category, you're still a pilot, but you don't. The plane doesn't work the same. Because they're different weight size, different wake turbulence, all those stuff. Those are the stuff you need to study. You need to know how um, its fuel to mixture ratio, all those things. Each aircraft is different. So you need all these ratings. You need a rating to go turn a plane upside down and yeah, like at an air show and stuff.
Oh, rata o turn the plane upside down.
Well, so yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
We've touched on airplanes, eh?
yeah, yeah.
And I never thought like you, like a pilot, you know.
Yeah, a lot of people
I
don't.
thought you were like a druggie, you know, like hey, because you had this hip hop vibe going on, you know. What's up,
Yeah,
my
I'm
dog?
raised by hip hop, so of course,
Yeah,
like, yeah, I'm raised by Hove lyrics.
away.
Yeah, that's
Yo,
my biggest influence.
Oh, la pisiteke
your
fly
cousin.
attendant.
Yo,
Yo.
it's your cousin, Machi. Yeah, ask your question, Machi. You wanted to ask something. You just
Oh
forgot
shit,
it.
it's cool, it's cool, it's forgot. Yeah, it's good. If you were to do something different with our episode, because of you're a producer of a podcast also, and then you've been in the space of other uh, media space, how would you have done this different?
How do you want me to tell you how to do this for free? Uh,
Yabatura, batuba, eh.
no, my man, you run the check. I'll tell you everything you need to know, my man.
Yeah.
God care, I've been watching. I'll give you 14-page document on what to change.
Oh wow.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, run the check. I'll help
Hey,
you.
hey, start with our art department. What do you think?
Yeah. I think one thing I will say though is you might want to reconsider shooting here because of the acoustics. I can I can literally feel my voice bouncing off the walls. Like and I don't
Okay,
think
Jones. Hey, Jones, tla utlwa hore ba re sound e irang.
about so which is not necessarily something you want, you know.
Shit.
Yeah, you don't want to be in recording in an environment where your voice bounces off the walls. Yeah, that's which is most people's mistakes. Like, and but also um that will come with your growth because everyone starts somewhere. You gotta figure it out,
We are only on 30, how many episodes? 30 something.
Yeah, but you're figuring it out.
But
So
we're big in
yes.
Mamelodi. Yeah, yeah, like in Pretoria.
Yeah, shout out Bagantlela.
Bakata.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have an uncle who lives go Kimabopani. I think Kimabopani.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the farm.
So
More is like Santon City.
yeah, so
I'm lying. Hey.
Hectic.
So Jones, they say change the location because of this location in Ale bounce your sound. So yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. He says he's now
okay,
giving
okay,
us a
remove our
checklist of
bounce.
things that we must.
Hectic.
Yeah, I can imagine going to Leratos David, Kopanale Black Cove. Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be nice. So yeah, that is the sounds.
Good man.
What else would you?
What else
The
would I
fly.
change?
I'm
And the
joking.
fly. You see this fly?
I told
Yeah, this
you.
fly. It's either
Let's
um
eh?
yeah. So, but also it does the show reflect you? Like, are you happy with how the show looks? Like, it can be aesthetically pleasing, which is what most people go for, but does it reflect you? If I had a podcast, I'd have a canvas of my favorite albums and my favorite movies. I'd have some Bad Boys 2 right here. I would have Reasonable Doubt album right here. I would have the Cutter 3 right here. You know what I mean? I'd put a Drake Take Care right here. I put Doris by Sweatshirts because there was a very important album in my high school. But there will be things that reflect me. So those are the things you need to how your show looks and how it sounds. It must reflect you. You know.
Nice.
Yeah.
I would put Lerato Davis
Oh
here.
my gosh.
Platinum Bootylicious.
Oh my gosh.
I would, for aesthetics, things that reflect me.
Things that reflect
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, big bunda. You like the big bunda life.
Oh my gosh. My
He's
goodness.
about it. He's about it.
Yeah.
I respect
I
it.
think I'm
I
good.
respect
Everyone is
it.
good. Yeah.
I
I know
respect
Mike has
it.
a question. Michael, what's Mike?
You good? No questions for your boy?
Yeah.
Once again, I'm sorry I don't sound lashes, but okay, yeah, keep going.
Hey, it's just lashes, Baba.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh.
I wish that was on the mic because people are not gonna hear that.
Yeah,
But
he
wow.
doesn't like the mic. And all the time. And he says the heat, what heat, Tamara? It's not on the mic.
Yeah, no, that is wild. What's up, Machi?
So via like location wise, the sun and everything, like how are you gonna like kikaring? Cause I see when I delight city bouncing in and everything.
Mm.
Like ukadi counter yang hore.
I'll tell you this: I'm not perfect at everything. My Achilles heel is lighting. That's my Achilles heel. So I have someone I go to for advice when it comes to lighting. It's my weakness in my craft, basically.
Weakness, like.
I get Achilles when he was
You're like-
defeated. They got him by the heel, because he's yeah.
So,
yeah,
weakness, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he kills. I got one. Yeah.
Shout out to that nigga
Did
one
you know
time.
that shit?
No, I don't.
Because I didn't ask you because I know what I got
don't.
yes. That's what I'm like. You see, that's what happens.
Yeah, my man, grab the mic and then tell us. I want to know what did it translate to? I'm very curious.
To,
No,
to me, Achilles heel was an actual heel.
Oh
Which
no,
translates
he.
to the same thing, but it means something else.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying. No, it's like
Achilles heel, like it's a hill you have to climb.
you know Achilles, right? You've heard of
Yeah.
Achilles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I need to. They couldn't defeat Achilles because he was.
No, I get it now. It's just
Yeah,
but
so
I'm
they
just
had
glad
to
it
go for the
translated
heel.
the same
yeah,
way though.
yeah. So
It's just it meant something else.
no, I get you. So yeah, in terms of lighting, my dog, lighting is my Achilles heel. It's it's not something I'm particularly good at. You know, so I always get advice for that. So when I do my set design, I go to my dude, yo, my man, how do I put the lights? Like when you look at this and it tells me put it there, set it on this temperature, and whatnot. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, man, I'm not perfect. I do a lot of things.
You fuck
And
around. You fly
I
planes.
fly planes. I might be great, but I'm not perfect yet.
Would you ever go back flying planes? And
Yeah. I would. When the money's right, I definitely will.
dog buela ntwana cause esiyalaba la.
To be honest,
From my
if
podcast.
if I can keep it 100 with you, I'm not really particularly interested in flying for airlines and stuff. I just want to teach other black boys how to fly. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Yeah,
How?
so gotta uplift.
Intlantla guys. Intlantla on the show.
Yeah. Shout out to Tanta Lux one time, man. He's also a pilot. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Dog,
He flew. He had a I don't know if I should call it an office or a hangar at Grand Central Airport. So I used to pop by. I used to look at the planes there and stuff. Yeah.
nice.
Shout out to Tanta Lux one time. That's a real nigga.
Yeah.
Yeah. He also a pilot. Shout out to all the black pilots, my dog.
Yeah.
Shout out to shout out
What
to all
what
the
did you
black
say?
pilots.
Drone pilot.
You're a drone
Hi,
pilot.
Novita.
Yeah, that's important. That's important. Especially in the space we are in now. Like it's very important to have the ability to fly drones. My boy right there is in the process of sorting out his drone stuff. K Fresh one time.
Nice.
So yeah, talking about drones. Have you flown one before? Is it
Nah.
flown, flew, fly, flee?
Yeah, but there's a primary school here. We like referring to it.
Have
yeah.
I flown one before?
Pafuham, yeah.
No, I
And
haven't.
what
No, I haven't.
would you say you had an advantage given that you already have like a pilot background? Does that translate into something that is very like instinctive, or you had to learn it like the
in
rest of us?
in terms of what? Like
Flying a drone, does it feel natural?
oh
As
no,
yeah.
no, like no, I don't fly drones. I don't fly drones, my
a-
dog.
Pilot license.
Yeah, I don't fly drones. I have a so when we shoot something, I always the DOP will delegate someone to fly drones to do the scenes and stuff, but that's not usually me. Um, However, I will look into getting a drone license because
Nice.
it's different from being a pilot. You know, I'm on the ground flying this thing instead of being in the thing and flying it. You know,
Yeah, talking about pilots, I mean drone licensing. Why does one need one?
you need to understand air spacing. You need to understand your restrictions because you need to understand when not to fly. You know, if you can't fly a drone at Waterkloof, you can't do that. You know what I mean?
But you can find the Guptas. No, I'm kidding because I once did a story with the Guptas when they.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, when they- yeah.
yeah. Hey man,
Yeah.
hey man. But yeah.
Let's go look Valley Shop. Hey,
There's-
Last question. Since you're political, right? What's the process? Because there's a president or a whatever of Dubai
Mm.
who flew to Bisho or whatever in Eastern Cape.
Mm.
So what's the process? Like,
I
if
think
you
maybe-
see a plane, do they shoot it down if it's not registered?
do
or
we
what?
even have those guns to shoot it down?
It depends. It really depends, you know, because if I'm being 100 with you, that man right there would be more knowledgeable on that subject matter than I am because that man is
That man.
yeah, that man is in
He's
the
in
Air Force.
military.
He's in the
But he can't.
he's
can
in the
you
Air
disclose?
Force.
But
That's my boy right there.
Because I want to understand what happened because they landed 500 people in South Africa.
I remember.
Yeah,
that,
but you see, maybe they flew without firstly, they didn't land at a military base, firstly, unlike the Guptas, you know. But maybe they didn't submit a flight plan. Maybe they didn't because you can just take off on a plane and submit the flight plan in the air. You can't do that.
yeah,
you know,
that's fucking
which is
money.
what-
Like, not
Yeah,
everyone-
yeah, like yo, and I'm getting on this jet, we're going,
We
you know,
out.
and I've done that a few times, you know. I
Yeah, but
went on
then
a
on what you're saying,
Yeah,
it's,
yeah.
it's plain and simple. It's always about communication. So obviously, because of now, as soon as you get into a certain airspace,
and you're first gonna get warnings. As soon as they start warning you, would say, "Hey, bro, what are you doing here? You need to communicate with you 123, 123." So if you are a threat to the country, that's when you're gonna get shot down. But if you're not, that's when they're gonna guide you and tell you, "Would say, okay, come this side. You're gonna land at this place, and 123, and then you guys are gonna follow us." And then that's how simple it is.
And it's
Yeah.
in
So
when you're learning to be a pilot, it's in one of your subjects. One of your subjects is called ALO, and they tell you all about that. Like if you are flying in restricted airspace and a jet pulls up on you and it does like a maneuver, you need to understand what that means. You know what I mean? That, oh, okay, this dude is telling me to follow him. I need to go land there, or I need to leave this airspace. You know.
So same plane, right, from Dubai, but now it's doing that in Russia. Are we landing or are we?
You're dead, my man. You're dead. Done with you.
So we are an open space, yeah.
I think,
No in this man.
yo, man, our country is such a nomain. It pisses me off, actually.
Yes,
Like,
yes,
yo,
yes.
bro, like, stand for something, bro.
Yeah, I hear the
sure.
regulations and everything,
Stand for
but
something.
hey, not in Russia, yeah.
Nah, my man. In Russia, the law is the law. In Mzansi, the law is just a guideline.
Hey, we're gonna be sponsored by
Zanzibar.
government. Hey, it's yeah, Kolisa
Okay.
communication,
Sorry,
all
Department of
yeah,
Sbanbani.
traffic. And
Send a tender this way.
so when you go park somewhere, if you have like to go somewhere, they're like license. Do you take out your pilot or which one do you take out?
How would you?
Like what? If I'm driving?
Yeah, no, like they say maybe go parking, right? Like now you wanna pass the boom gate, you go mall, or maybe let's say for us when we shoot, they'll be asking you like security guards, like, hey, can we have a driver's? And they take a shot of your license disc. Sometimes take out the pilot one. How big is the
Uh,
pilot?
It's like it looks like a passport kind of.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you can show them that one because I mean, like it's driving.
Nah, you can't, because most people don't know how a pilot license looks, so they don't know if it's real or not. Like the average Joe doesn't know how a pilot license looks. The only time I use that is if I'm at private airspace and I need like a shuttle to take me somewhere. Then I'd be like, I'd land at Pilanesberg, get a shuttle to put me in Sun City. You know, like those. That's when you need to know when to use it.
Hey, no, nobody with a free pass.
You need to know when to
Sorry,
use
not
it.
Amos.
Yeah.
Jones has a question.
Yeah, what's up, Machi?
Last question. In this
Yeah, we are making this a 2-hour podcast.
Yeah, it's
But
done.
let's
It's
go.
done. It's done, right?
Let's go.
It's done.
2
Probably
hours.
Charlie's gonna cut it out. But like, when people take a number two, drop an album there,
What?
does it go down? Like, cause you can.
Jones.
Salvana, you know those days where there's water, like, but it's not raining, like. You know that there's water, it's not raining, and you just wipe yourself. Is it like a number?
Yeah, those jets.
Or do you have something like those funeral toilets? Do you have that acid
Yeah,
system?
something that collects. Yeah. You have a septic tank that gets emptied when you land.
Well, I thought like
Yeah.
All these years,
As long
all
as
these
you're-
years, you're thinking they're shitting on us. You think we're just a shitty country. Yeah.
some planes have the ability to dump, but
Especially
you
Dubai,
can, you need to know where to
Ew.
dump.
They-
There's areas that allow you to dump. They would never dump. A plane will never fly over us and dump here because this is a residential environment. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you
Imagine Jay-Z.
in the Puma jet there, the Puma jet.
That is disgusting. Sis.
Yeah, the mixtape is in the Puma logo there. You see it there on your face.
I will never move Jay-Z shit on my face.
Sis.
Yo, shout out Hove, man. That's the greatest rapper of all time.
Move shit on my face. So guys, we are good and ready to. So don't forget to like and subscribe, T.
And comment.
Oh, yeah. Please follow me on all platforms, TG the AUX GOD. I don't have Facebook. That's the village. Out.
Wow. We just went live on Facebook. It's a village.
Shout out to all the Shout out to all the villagers.
Yeah. So eita hola.